All right, welcome to the MadLab MMA. We have a special guest here today. The man, the myth, the legend, Hollywood is here from the East Coast. What's up, Hollywood?
Guys? Hey, everything's good. I just came in from Jersey. I'm here visiting you guys with my son. It's great.
I got to tell you, and guys, you know, Mike the MadLab Ierata here as usual. I got to tell you, the first thing I noticed, your nails look tremendous.
Look at this, huh? Yeah, well, you know, you get a little manicure. You got to take care of yourself. You know, look, see?
Yeah, you look great. You look great.
I do. I feel
great.
good. I feel good. I feel good.
Good. This guy's looking awesome. You kidding me? Chris, 55 years old, right?
Yeah. I'm going to be 72 in November.
There you go.
51 when Marciano fought Joe Louis.
You grew up boxing. Boxing was
About 60 years I've been following boxing.
All right. I know you've been a big boxing guy. Mike, big boxing. I grew up a boxing guy. So today we're going to talk some boxing history here, right?
I love it.
You're going to bring in the wisdom, the knowledge, some of the greatest boxers of all time. You grew up in the eras. You saw the big Marciano. You grew up Ali. You know, we didn't get to see that too much of that stuff. I was a little kid. That was your prime.
That was my prime. And then what I'd like to talk about is the boxers from yesterday to the boxers of today.
That's what
the difference in the physicality of the boxers and the way they trained and the amount of rounds they went. There's just no comparison.
So those of you guys that follow me for a long time, you know my bio. Like if you go onto the site, the madlabmma.com, you'll see the bio. The bio, the majority of that, I'm talking about him in that bio. So, you know, when I was growing up, as a kid, he lived in Clifton on Loretta Street, right? That's where it was? Loretta Street?
Patterson.
As a kid. No, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
On Loretta Street. And he was a printer. He just started his printing business, and he started in the basement of his house. So he had the printing presses going at night, and when I would go over to his house to visit him, he had a room that he would put me upstairs so he could print at night, and it was called the boxing room. It's literally what it was called, the boxing room. And when you walked in, it was a complete library of every fight you can imagine. On VHS tape, he had, tell me if you remember this stuff, he had the wind chime. Remember the wooden wind chime with the two boxers that they would spin around on the ceiling?
Oh, my God. Somebody made that for me.
Right, he had a wind chime. Then he had this, I don't know, he had one thing in there that was fucking weird, though. It was like a fucking Cadillac with a lady and a guy holding a camera.
That's right. It was an old Japanese toy back from the 40s and 50s.
He had all the posters.
I collected antiques.
All the posters of the old fights. And so basically when he would be downstairs printing late at night, I would sit in this room and I would just engulf myself in, you know, the guys like Tommy Hearns and Durant. So everything that I know about the fight game, everything that I know about boxing, the history that I go back with boxing, even at my age, I know a lot of it's because of this guy right here. So I love you, Pop, and thank you so much.
I love you too, Mike. And he's even got some of the posters I gave him down here from 1981.
Yeah, a lot of my memorabilia is from my father, but
literally took off the wall when I was in Vegas to go see the fights, local. And I worked around with Lou Duval, was a famous promoter.
Sure.
So we met a lot of people. I traveled all over the place at the time.
He used to drag me to the gyms with him when I was little, and I was a little fat kid when I was little, right? So
give me potato chips
he used to give me food to make sure that like I wouldn't go nowhere. Or there'd be like a hot dog place. He'd be like, come on, we're going to go to Palms. Got a little hot dog.
Wow, you trained.
Why?
Go downstairs, get a hot dog, eat potato chips till I was banging them out.
Right. So he actually, remember, you remember, we got to probably talk to him about this. Remember when we went to see, it was me, you, and him, and we went to Mayweather Gaddy,
Atlantic City.
Father's Day. That was his
Father's Day down in Atlantic City.
Wow.
We went down there.
How many
we actually thought that Gotti had a shot.
Wow.
These was $750 a ticket back
Everybody
then.
was there, was rooting for Arturo Gotti, because that was right when Gotti was like creeping up.
He was a real club fighter. They
club
loved
fighter,
him.
but man, he came out the AC/DC Thunderstruck. The boardwalk hall was going nuts down in AC, and then he got hit with a liver shot. Like in the fucking end of the first or beginning of the second round, he just keeled over and he was done.
And then after the fight, we lost him.
Then we're at the Borgata. We're gambling, right? We're gambling. No, we didn't. We couldn't find him.
We lost him. Yeah,
we lost him.
You were looking over the
We're
balcony.
looking over. So we go into the club, the nightclub, the Mix, which was bad. Now it's something different. It was called the Mix in the Borgata in AC. And we find Pops Hollywood in the fucking club, no shirt on, with 5 girls around him, and he's swinging his fucking shirt in the air in the middle of the club.
I love to dance. I was a big disco like guy, you know.
And then
we
went out, and then we did Nikki Beach the next day. Remember outside they had the Nikki Beach
the white chairs and stuff.
Yep.
That was a new modern way of like being at the beach with cheers.
And you know,
by
like
the
they had a
water.
good thing. You know what happened? They got shut down like 6 months later. They had an illegal boxing match on the beach over
Is
there.
that-
They didn't get a fucking permit.
I didn't know that.
And the town shut them down and made them strip the whole fucking.
Is that really-
thing.
is
They
that
never
true?
opened
Really?
I
again.
never knew that.
Oh,
what
wow.
happened.
I knew they closed down. I didn't know
That's
that's
why they had
an
elite-
illegal boxing
They had a
match.
Well, I mean, elite. They had a boxing
Yeah,
match.
yeah,
They didn't
yeah,
get a
yeah.
fucking
It wasn't-
permit.
it wasn't- yeah, it was-
Town came in fucking. 'Cause
Oh,
remember
wow, I didn't know that.
AC was a
Yeah,
boxing
they were
town.
all around Florida.
Boardwalk
Nikki
Hall.
Beach was in Florida. Then they came back
but
from Miami.
AC was a
to
boxing
AC.
town. They took that
Yeah.
shit seriously with the permits,
Oh,
right? 'Cause they
yeah,
used to
down by
fight
the
a lot.
convention over there. Every day
Yeah,
airport.
so they
there.
shut them
Ali
right
was-
down. They
yeah.
tried to find them big money. They just pulled out, and that was it.
Yep.
I would say the best fight I've been
Joe
to.
Frazier.
No, the best fight I've been to with you though.
I remember you in the
was
front
the-
row
hold
and the
on,
blood was hitting
hold
him
on.
all over the face.
The Rocky movie. It was like a Rocky movie. Which fight? Let's see if you remember.
You got a memory. My memory
you
don't
went to
serve
live?
It
Yeah,
don't
man.
serve me well.
Bowen Galata.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Galata.
Let me tell you
That
something.
was one of the greatest fights of all
That was
time.
Boardwalk
He
Hall,
met
right?
Galata.
Bro, we met Galata
I'll tell you
after,
the story.
after the fight. So
I
first
was
we-
with Lou Duva. I was working with him. He was the world's greatest promoter. He was running parallel with Don King. So we went over there to go see the fight. We had all carte blanche the whole bit. So he's sitting up in the front. And he's watching the fight. Blood's coming, right, literally hitting him. Bo is one of the greatest fighters of all time. It's one of the fighters that could have been great, but didn't until that
He had
way.
a good run.
But Galata hit him in the balls again after training him for years. He had a habit of hitting you in the balls, so they would disqualify him. So he lost. Mikey never really liked him, but he says, "Dad, let's go see Galata." I go, "Lou, let's go. Could we go?" My son went, "Yeah, let's go upstairs." So he's eating there.
he
He's
had a hole in his lip. Remember the soup?
hole
was
in his
dripping
lip.
out
He's
of
still got tape on his hands. He's in the dining room with his mother and family, and he's going like this, like, God, I can't, like he can't speak English. So and Lou says, "Joe's son would like to meet you," and they said it's Polish. He gets up and he stands up and he shakes Mike's hands. His hands are all wrapped up, and Mike goes, and I said, "My son really thinks you're a wonderful fighter." So we get up as we're walking away. Mikey goes, "He sucks. I suck." And the mother's going, thank you so much for saying that my son
Well,
was
he
such a
could
great
have.
fighter.
But Riddick Bowe would have been badass.
But
he
Riddick
was good.
Bowe
He
was-
had the talent to be like a modern day Ali as a heavyweight.
Listen to me, the Bo Holyfield trilogy was one of the best
One of them
heavyweights.
right there, the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the
He-
best trilogies, heavyweight trilogies.
They
ever.
had-
Bo Holyfield 1 was when the fucking parachuter
Yeah.
came
Oh,
into
you
the
stuck.
ring.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah. So the main reason why
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
we're gonna talk about is something that me and Anthony talk about every episode, and every article I write, I talk about this. Today's era of combat sports fans and analysts, as far as MMA and boxing, but we're gonna stay with boxing,
Boxing, MMA
Is-
has evolved to be better.
is they don't understand. Like they have this segue of from Mike Tyson on, from Conor McGregor on, and that's it. They're the best. These are the best. These are the top 3, top 5, and they have no idea because they don't know. So you can't blame them. But they don't know. They don't know the history of boxing. They don't know the history of how far the golden years of boxing, how much better these guys were. For instance, and it'll say you had the Canelo Alvarez and Chavez debate where I was going after people in the new wave of kids, 25. 26 years old, coming out saying that Chavez could never hang with Canelo. Not the best, that Canelo's the best Mexican fighter of all time. We know, I know, Anthony knows that it's nonsense. But one thing that me and Anthony debate that we want to bring you in on is the Mike Tyson debate. So I think that Tyson was a terrible heavyweight. I think it was
Are you how could the fucking you say it
gonna
terrible?
let-
hold on.
You can't say that. You can't use the word terrible.
I don't think he was.
You could say maybe he was
I don't
top
think.
10.
I don't think he was. He's definitely not top 10. I don't think he was a good heavyweight.
You don't think he was a good?
No, I think he was a good product for the time. I think if you put him back, if you put him back to fight Ali, he gets destroyed. He gets destroyed by Frazier. He gets destroyed by George Foreman. He gets destroyed by Kenny Norton. He gets destroyed by Ernie Shavers. He gets destroyed by Ronnie Lyle. Larry Holmes in his prime. I can go on and on and on and on. Marciano, Joe Louis.
Let's go talk about the physicality of the boxers. Years ago, they fought like in the late 18th century with John L. Sullivan, and who fought like this. They fought 60 to 80 rounds. That's how brutal man was. That's why I say it's a primitive sport. So they were promoting Tyson. Now, I'll tell you a secret about Tyson. That Duval, we said, no skin, no chin, no win. And that's
We
what
say that all the
Tyson
time.
had. In other words, Custom Model knew he didn't have a chin. So he had trained him to keep his chin in. But you're not going to fight Foreman. You're not going to fight Moorer. We're making money with you. We're promoting you. You're not going to fight Evander Holyfield by no way. He'll sneak his punches into you. You're going to go. So they kept him. He made you $600 million. Now he's broke because he had no mental
Well, he ain't broke
stability.
now.
Well, now he's making money again.
Yeah.
He had no mental stability at the time, so he went broke, getting married, doing drugs, raping a girl, this and that, whatever. Was he a hard hitter? Hell yeah. But you had to watch. He physically, if you hit him, he's going down. So just look at the losses that prevailed with Holyfield and Buster Douglas, 40-1.
I wish he would have fought Holyfield before he went to jail.
Now going back to
that was scheduled to go. He wasn't ducking Holyfield.
No.
They were going to fight before he went to jail.
I have the
then
hat.
he went to jail for
Fight
3
that
years,
never
and then
Yeah, he's actually got the hat and the T-shirt
Yeah, I have
of
the
the
hat.
fight, and it never happened.
the fight that never happened.
Yeah.
I wish that fight would have happened because after he went to
would've
jail,
never won that
he
fight.
was never the same guy after jail. Though.
He wasn't mentally well.
So in
to fight a guy like that.
1982,
Oh, yeah.
1982, they changed the rounds from 15 to 12. Now, like I said, let's get back to 1892.
That was when they changed it, 82?
Yeah. When Gentleman Jim Corbett came in to fight Sullivan, he was the one that kept his hands up and started jabbing and doing things like where the new boxers learned how to keep their hands up rather than going like this. So they're fighting 50, 60 rounds, no knockdown rule. You had to go down and not get up. So then they moved it up to 15 rounds. That was back in the 50s. Okay, so you got guys fighting like, for instance, these how brutal the guys were. The fight in Zaire when Ali fought Foreman. It was 125 degrees. He knocked him out in the 13th round. It was the closest thing to death. They had to both get hospitalized. 125 degrees. There were no air conditioners. They didn't hang out and like Tyson did. Do a little blow, do a little coke, do this, have a little broad on the side. They stood by their doorways to make sure that no woman came in. Same with what's his name? The fight with, think about it, the Thriller in Manila with Frazier. And you think that Tyson, he couldn't compete with these guys?
That was a different era.
Because there was is he tough? Hell yeah. When he was younger, who could beat him? But guys, like the greatest fighters of all time, the articulate guys were like Joe Louis, 66 fights, 63 wins, 3 knockouts, 3 losses. He lost to, who did he lose to? Max Schmeling, one of the biggest fights in the world.
We talked about that.
During the war. Ezra Charles.
You know what it was?
He's very underrated.
So the fighter, Sugar Ray Robinson, his amateur record was 140. His pro was 175 with only 13 losses.
all at the end of his career.
It's
At the end of his career. It's unheard of.
But like, okay, you growing up boxing, right? You know, the heavyweight champ of the world was always like the baddest man on the planet, right?
That's right.
Forever.
That's
Even
right.
when Tyson was fighting.
I'll tell you about Sonny Liston.
Right? And then after Tyson, there was Lennox Lewis for a little while, right? And then after that, Klitschko took over. You didn't look at those guys as the baddest man on the planet no more.
They were fancy. They dressed nice.
After,
and this and
I would say the last champ that people were like, this guy's a real champ was probably Lennox Lewis, who I think Lennox Lewis never got the credit that he deserved. He was actually a pretty good fucking champ.
Yeah, he was.
He was a good champ. After him though,
because boxing was still.
Is Tyson Fury the baddest man on the planet? You look at him like the baddest man on the
Well, they
planet.
promote him that way.
Well,
That's
how
the
about
way
this,
they
bro?
promote
How
him.
about this, bro?
If people believe it.
Well, here's another thing. That's another thing we talk about. Like, how can they say Tyson Fury? Like, a lot of people think Tyson Fury is the greatest heavyweight of all time.
That's people
That's
who say
insane.
that can't.
Deontay Wilder. was
Well, no,
supposed to be
hold on. Ask him the trivia question and see if he gets it.
As far as what?
The hardest puncher in history. They say. I don't believe it. But
Who was the hardest puncher in history? You could even bring the UFC in.
No.
But the boxing.
let's see if you know.
I know that.
This is what they say. I don't
I
believe
don't know
it.
about real data, but I know that Merciless Ray Mercer was hit like a truck.
He did, but that's
He
not.
was one of them.
That's not it. But you'll
Let
be
me tell you
shocked.
who
I
they
was
were.
shocked when it was. No. The factual one you told me.
It's Deontay Wilder.
They said he was the hardest hitter in history.
because they measured his
They measured his power.
power.
But see,
and
they
then you
didn't
the
got.
hardest punch ever.
But they didn't get to measure the power back then.
But they had.
I could believe that.
No
though.
way.
The guy, He might not be a great
I think
boxer.
he hits harder than Sonny Liston or Ernie Shavers or Ronnie
Let me
Lyon.
tell you about
They didn't measure back
That's
then.
what I mean.
That's like the 40-yard dash.
That's
They
what I
only
mean.
started doing that.
You can't measure it. That's
Yeah.
they're
You know?
Shavers, Foreman, Marciano, Tyson is in the top 10. Joe Louis. It's the leverage where it came from. Now, who would have been one of the? There's two fighters I always say that would have been the greatest fighters of all time. Let's get back to Sonny Liston. He had a reach of 87 inches, where
That's insane.
76 was Ali, 78 was.
That's crazy. How long were his arms?
They were freaky, and he the only reason why he lost is because the mob told him to lose. Why'd they kill him? Because the mob was involved. But they brought in this new star.
When was that? The early 70s when
This
that
is
happened?
when-
That was when
Ali.
Ali jumped over him. Was
Yeah.
like, get up. They're going to know
But
you.
he says, get up, they know, and that's what happened. He was really a brutal fighter. Another guy that nobody even heard of that would never had the opportunity to be, was 22 and 22 knockouts, was Tony Aiello, a little middleweight from Patterson, New Jersey, got in trouble with the law, and he was never able to, capture his professionalism like he could have been. But there's just so many different controversies about the fighters, like Shavers and Foreman. Tyson is like, look what he had no choice to fight these guys. Look what Holyfield did to him.
I know that. The only thing about the whole Tyson thing was this. That
he was
but you
bad
remember,
when he was younger.
You'll agree with this, okay?
Yeah.
When Tyson was around, whether he was that good or not, when he was around, he was the most
I
polarizing.
watched every fight.
He was the most polarizing figure of all the sports.
Yes.
When he fought on Saturday Night HBO, the
Yes.
whole
Watch.
world
Yeah,
watched.
but hold on a second. But this is my point about this. Now, this is what I mean.
Yes.
Pause it. But if I put you against Michael, the tech guy, you're going to have the same result.
I'll fucking crush it.
Right. I'm saying. So this is what I mean. You got. Look at this. This is like. Hold on. These are the guys he fucking fought. This bum.
Hold on. Some of these guys are tough. Go ahead.
Kevin McBride.
No, that was later.
All right.
Go before
All right.
pre-jail.
All right.
Pre-jail.
All right, I'll go pre-jail. All right. Hector Mercedes. I haven't heard half of these guys. Hold on.
Who the fuck is that?
There you
Yeah,
go.
this is what he said.
Here, I'll go up to his 10-0. Sterling Benjamin, Eddie Richardson, Conroy Nelson, Sammy Scaff, Mark Young, Mike Jameson.
Wait, after he beat Burbank.
Jesse Ferg.
After he beat Burbank, then that's when he won the belt.
All right, Trevor Burbick, James Smith, Pinklin
Bone
Thomas.
Crusher Smith.
He
Who's that?
sucked. He was like 40. He was bald when
He
he
was
fought
tough.
him.
Who else?
Right? Pinklin Thomas, Tony Tucker, Tyler Biggs.
Tony Tucker.
Larry Holmes when he was 40-something years old.
Holmes was old. Go ahead.
Right? Tony Tubbs. Michael Crackhead Spinks. He was
Spinks.
a crackhead.
He beat Spinks. Who
He had
else?
no teeth in his mouth.
Yeah, Spinks. That was.
That wasn't the
I think
Frank
Spinks took a fall. But go ahead.
Frank Bruno.
Thank you.
Bruno.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bruno.
You know.
I know Spinks took
Okay.
a fall.
Very good.
Carl the Truth.
Call the truth. Why he sucked? Who else?
Buster Douglas, Henry Tillman, Alex
Look
Stewart.
what Buster Douglas did to him.
I mean, he
Where's
beat,
Razor Ruddock on there?
he beat Razor Ruddock twice.
Right?
Yeah,
Ruddock, Razor Ruddock was tough.
He was a Buster Mathis, Bruce Seldon.
Bruce
Fuck
Seldon.
outta here. The guy was a legitimate shoemaker.
He was not a shoemaker.
No,
But he wasn't one of the top
He
10.
was very fast. He was very quick. But you really got to take into consideration
He beat you before
while
he
they were
got into the
promoting him.
Mentally, he beat you before
While
you
they
got
were
in the ring.
promoting him to make all this money, he still stayed away from Ray Mercer. He hit you with a baseball bat when you got hit.
Yeah,
It was
he
stolen
ducked- he
by
ducked-
Leo the Lion in Patterson. You know him.
Yeah,
He's
he was a friend of
yours.
mine.
And he stayed away from George Foreman,
Bro,
who was the
listen,
most strongest puncher of all time.
Leo Luciano was a friend of mine, and Ray Mercer
had to fight him.
retired him in one fight.
Was Foreman already back
That's
out
right.
of retirement?
He remembers
when Tyson
everything.
Was fighting? Was Foreman out of retirement?
No, but here's my
No,
point.
they never would let
He
him
just
fight.
came out.
Listen,
He didn't want to fight him.
So
He didn't want to fight him.
He didn't want to fight him.
you
He didn't
talk
want,
about
his
a
camp
guy-
said you can't fight Foreman.
Listen, you talk about a guy he went to prison, he had all these things, whatever. Okay, but you got to remember, he did that sit in prison stuff where he did take time off. From the time he was 36
So did
years old.
Foreman, 10 years.
Hold on, 36 years old to 38 years old, he was 1-3. Tyson.
Wow.
Fighting bums, McBride.
Yeah, after he was
Okay.
never the same after that.
Foreman came back at 41 and won the heavyweight championship.
Very
in Raw.
good.
I know that was.
So can you
After 10
imagine
years,
what he was like
Came
when he,
in to be 50 years old.
So
took
can
the
you imagine what he was
championship.
like when he was 28?
So Mikey's point is, I understand that. See, they go in boxing, in all sports, you got to have that like Brady. You got that mental stability. You got to be like Ali. He was an ambassador to mankind. No matter what he did, no matter how he played, he did the right thing. That's why he will always be a great figure. Tyson was a figure because he was mean. He was tough. He did crazy things in Hollywood, and That's what really made him famous.
Controversial.
And he brought on the. We watched him. He was entertaining for me. You never knew what he was going to do. Was he going to knock you out or what?
He also.
How about Oliver McCall when he came in? Who
remember
was
when he had
it?
the
When he got.
When McCall quit in the corner?
Yeah.
When he quit on the stool?
What is he doing? He had a complete nervous breakdown.
That was
remember?
against Foreman,
He
wasn't
was
it?
crying. No, I think
That was
Lennox Lewis, wasn't it?
I think it was
Oliver
against.
McCall?
I thought it was
No,
Tyson.
Foreman beat McCall for the title.
No. Foreman beat Michael Moore.
Michael Moore.
He was
that
a
was
great
right.
fighter.
McCall.
Yeah.
Was
Foreman
McCall
was-
Tyson or McCall Lennox Lewis? Is one of those. When he
Yeah.
quit,
It was-
he put on
he
the
Quick,
stool.
he started
Yeah.
crying. They're like, what is he doing? He's not throwing a punch.
I
He didn't
agree.
wanna come
Tyson's,
out.
not a top
He was
10
the most
heavyweight.
exciting fighter to watch.
yeah, okay, thank you.
He
That-
was
that's
the
a
most
better way to-
exciting.
better way to
I
put
couldn't
it.
wait to watch him fight because I never knew what he was going
Probably
to
the
do.
most exciting.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was
15
polarized.
years old. I mean, look what he did at 16
Yeah.
years old. He had a freaky body. He was so quick. That's what made him great. Short, quick, inside, quick fighter.
Give us the Hollywood top 5 of all time heavyweights.
All time.
Top 5.
Heavyweights or
It's a
heavyweights?
hard thing.
Heavyweights. Is Ali
You got to
number
put
one?
Joe. You got to put Joe Louis in there. You got to put Ali, Frazier,
Liston?
Marciano. Sonny Liston, but he never had a chance to prove himself because of the things that happened. Dempsey, Holyfield, actually,
Holyfield
because
had a
he was a
warrior.
light heavyweight,
He was a cruiserweight.
but the
He was a cruiserweight.
great warrior.
Probably
And then,
the biggest heart.
so let's.
Biggest heart of all time, Holyfield.
Yes, that's exactly right,
He had
and I
the heart,
totally
dude.
agree.
He
That's
never
Mikey
stopped.
followed him since
That's
he
my
was a
favorite.
kid.
Him
He
and
always
Mikhail
loved
Cotto were my
him.
two guys.
Yes,
Him and Cotto.
but you got to put, like I said, Joe Louis was in there. He fought incredibly with perfection.
Bo could have been one of those
66.
guys.
Imagine fighting 66 fights. They defended their title every 2-3 times a month.
Yep.
It wasn't like today, every 2 years. So you got him fighting 66 wins, only 3 losses. And then he only lost against, who did he lose against? Ezra Charles, Rocky Marciano, because Joe Louis was older, and Jersey Joe Walcott. But he's the greatest of all time in entertaining
Had to
is
fight him
Ali.
twice. Had
There's
to
nobody
fight.
like
Oh,
Ali.
entertainment, yeah.
If Foreman,
Nobody's
there's nobody's
was
like
the best.
Foreman.
The best shit talker of all time was Ali.
yeah.
A lot of people think the Ali poster, like that famous shot of Ali standing over Sonny Liston with his arm up.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that's him taunting him, like I just knocked you out, bum. That was a complete misconception. That poster, that picture was of him standing over him, urging him to get up because
get up.
they're going to know they fixed the fight.
Yeah. Wow, you know what? I
Did you
never
know
knew
something?
that.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting fact.
Screaming
that
at him, get up, you bum. They're going to know. Get up, you bum, he was saying.
Here's the interesting
Wow.
fact that you have a picture of that you might not know about. The one that my son painted with
Yeah.
his hands being wrapped.
Yeah, I have one.
He taped his own hands. And a lot of people don't know that. And that was the only picture that my son had to get privileges and rights to print that because that was a private picture of him taping his own hands.
He taped his own hands.
He
I
would
didn't know
only
that.
tape his own hands. Angelo D, he would not let him do that. And, again, then it goes like the UFC. You got to have a great cut man, Ace Murata. You got to have a great corner man. You got to have a great trainer. It's all part of the mix of becoming a true champion.
Yep.
In all your weight divisions. This is great. Man, I could do this all fucking day long. I love it.
He's got his Joe Louis pin on his hat. Look.
There you go. You got a little APN tack hat.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
this
Hat.
new hat.
He's looking good over here,
Yeah,
Pops.
I love it.
We'll take him
This
down
is
to the
really
beach
nice.
now a little
Well,
bit.
we're happy to have you here, bro.
Thank
You
you,
should be
thank
coming
you.
on the show more often.
I
man.
will. I'll be
You
coming
are the
down here
boxing
more
historian of
before.
all historians. No one knows more than you. Oh, you're
That
bringing the
is
heat over
what-
here.
Well,
Yeah,
back in the day during the holidays, right? So I was thinking about this during Christmas time when he was shadowboxing yesterday. It would be like Christmas time or whatever, and like we'd be in the kitchen and getting food ready and stuff like that, and he would go like that. And then I would go like that. And then he would do it harder.
Oh, my
And then we would
God.
turn each other and he'd tap me. Then I would tap him. Then all of a sudden,
We were
would
really
get the
fighting.
full off.
I go, whoa, Mike, I'm your father. He
Listen,
starts hitting me. I'm up against
neck,
the refrigerator.
Neck to neck down. Not in the head, but we would just start bang, 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 right?
So he was hitting me so hard one time. I go, whoa, hold on, Mike. We're not fighting here.
Pops, you're the best, man. Thanks, bro. It's great that you're here. I'm happy you're in Cali.
I love you. I love you
My
both. I'm
house
so
on
proud
Sunday,
of these
right?
guys.
My house
Yeah.
on
Oh,
Sunday, right?
man, I can't wait.
You're gonna meet the
Macaronis
puppy.
and
And
meatballs.
you're gonna meet the puppy.
Wow, this is awesome.
Right? Let's go.
Let's do it, man. Good
right.
night. Thank you very much.
See you later.